Hello, and welcome to the most unnecessary and pointless video of the year, namely the 2022 House elections with the 2020 House map. Of course, the 2022 House elections will have a new redrawn map with different districts. Pennsylvania, for example, will lose a vote, Texas will gain a few votes, and there will be wide changes, so we're not going to actually have this map in 2022. But looking at trends from 2016, 18 and 2020, I'm going to look at how it would be, in my mind, if the same map was used. And of course this is probably a Republican wave year. They have the initiative, they have the opposition status with Biden, the Democrat, in the White House. So I'm going to go over different states and tell you where I believe that the Republicans would have pickups if the 2022 midterms happened with the same map. Because there are a few that were very close in 2020. Now, let's go over here and start up at the northeastern part of America. So, in New England, there are very few possible opportunities. Republicans could, take this district in Maine, currently occupied by Jared Golden. They could flip one or both of the districts in New Hampshire, even though they are not really on track to do that. But we are really going to see more of it further south on the East Coast, particularly in the state of Pennsylvania and the state of New Jersey. So, seeing that they were quite close in the year of 2020, especially the seat of Tom Malinowski, I believe it was won by 1 point or something, not much more, and therefore I'm going to put it in the Republican column. And the Kim's district, he actually won by a bit bigger margin, but his district was more of a Trump district. So it voted heavily for president, and I believe he would lose by big margins in a Republican wave year. I also see that the Republicans would pick up maybe one more seat in New Jersey. It would be either the 5th or the 11th. I'm just going to take the 11th for now. Going to Pennsylvania, there are actually a few pickup opportunities. Republicans came quite close to picking up Conor Lamb's seat. You see it's 2 points there, while with Matt Cartwright we are more at 4 points, and with Susan Wild about 4 points. And even though Brian Fitzpatrick was defending a seat in the suburban area won by Biden, he won by a massive margin, 13 points. So he wasn't really in trouble this year. And those are the opportunities that the Republicans would have. They're not doing that well in the Philly suburbs, but they could have picked up the 17th district, the 8th, and the 7th, which already gives them a majority in the House. You can see that their majority is threatened. In the red wave year, I actually also believe that Antonio Delgado in New York would lose. And, it would probably be close with Sean Maloney, because it is a sort of red area up here upstate. In Virginia, the biggest, most likely pickup, I think, is Abigail Spanberger's seat, because if you look at 2018, she actually won by a quite narrow margin. Okay, almost 2 points, not too close, but Virginia is a Democratic trending state. This district, however, is not in Richmond. It has some of the Richmond suburbs, but it is otherwise a quite Republican district. When it comes to the other district here, the second, which was also somewhat competitive in 2020, Illinois Luria won by a disappointingly big margin against former Congressman Scott Taylor. So I believe that would probably stay Democratic for the time being. Going more up in the Midwest to the Rust Belt, I could see Republicans pick up 2 seats in Michigan, especially Haley Stevens' district. Lisa Slotkin's district is a bit less suburban, more rural, but it also is a district that was won by the Democrats by a sort of bigger margin than Haley Stevens. She was more popular than Haley Stevens, and I believe that in a red wave year she would lose, but that hasn't come to fruition. So, going to the state of Illinois, Republicans would of course pick up Lauren Underwood's seat, because that is actually not that much of a suburban district. I don't think any of it is actually in Cook County, which is Chicago. And as you see here, the Democrats have been gerrymandering a lot with making district stretch out from the city center of Chicago, sort of to disenfranchise Republican suburban voters. However, after the redistricting, the Republicans are anyways quite weak in the suburbs in Chicago, so, well, compared to at least for 10 years ago. So it won't matter that much. But the biggest pickup here is, of course, Cherry Bostow's seat, which narrowly went to her in 2020. Okay, it was 4 points, so it wasn't that narrow, but it is a part of a bigger Midwestern trend. The same thing with Ron Kinn's district, that of Angela Craig and Cindy Axne. If you look at the margins here, you can see that they voted heavily for Trump and almost wasn't enough to flip. These went to the Democrat by less than 50 points. Ron Kinn has been presiding over a very much red trending district, and in a good year for the Republicans, they would lose. So let's go to the South. I don't believe that they would flip anything in Georgia. When Republicans take part in redrawing the Florida map, I believe that they could maybe pick up a seat or two, but right now, as the map is, I don't believe that even Charlie Crist would lose. I think Charlie Crist would win. Yeah, he won by 6 points, but still. And in general, the Republicans don't have many pickup opportunities in the state of Florida. They do have a quite solid margin at the moment, so it's not a big need for them. I think they have 16, so Democrats have 11. And going to Texas, I don't see really many good pickup opportunities. They could, with Trump out of office, probably take back one or two of the suburban seats, either that of Lacey Fletcher or the one of Colin Allred that was Pete Sessions' seat before he moved. Where did he move, by the way? He moved here to the 17th, I think. Yeah, somewhat like that. But I'm going to keep them Democratic for now. You never know. We have to move west to see the new opportunities. Of course, the Republicans have sort of taken their opportunities already in Colorado and New Mexico. The Mike Kaufman district is just far too Democratic by now. Used to have a Republican, not going to elect one anymore. But Tom O'Halloran's district is very big, very rural, and the Republicans could definitely win there. Fielding the right candidate, of course, and that would take back the Arizona delegation, even though that's a blue trending state, so I don't think it's very likely. And if they do, they might lose another district, like, for example, David Schweikert's district. And that is putting the Republicans by now at 229. If you do look at the closest margins, we have sort of covered most of them. And Democrats were expected to win a lot of seats narrowly. All the toss-ups, of course, went Republican. All the Republican leans went Republican. So when it comes to remaining pickup opportunities for the Republicans, there are not that many. But I'm going to look one last time. Are there in California? Not really. Are there in Washington State? Not really. I think that there is an opportunity, even two opportunities in Nevada. They would probably need a redrawing of the map that would split the state sort of into two Democrats, two Republicans, which would be most fair. But now Republicans will have a quite solid margins to pick up one or both of these big Nevada districts. Of course, they will never take the center of Las Vegas, but they have a good shot, especially Susie Lee's district, which was close in 2020. So that's where I put it. Before the redrawing of the map, the Republicans will be able to take up sort of a majority, a quite solid majority actually, by picking of a few seats and gaining a 231 majority. Of course, they could also win in New Hampshire, they could win in Maine. I just don't see it at the moment. Anyway, if you find a more useless or unnecessary video than this, I applaud you. That's all I had for you guys. See you next time.